Hello everybody, my name is Sint, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video I've got for you a new build in Torchlight Infinite, this time for Little Flash Carino, and it's a split firebolt build that uses split firebolt as a vector to apply as much wilt as possible and scale the wilt damage and the ailment damage as far as we can to try and do some really juicy damage over time. As of right now, I try to do something a little bit different with this build. I try to make it cost as little as possible and still being able to clear tier 7 very efficiently, very quick, very fast for somebody or anyone that is struggling and doesn't have a lot of FE, right? And wants to just farm tier 7s and try to very quickly go through those to amass more currency to upgrade their desired build. And that's what I have here right now. This is about 30-35 FE cost, and this absolutely flies through tier 7 maps. It's not min-maxed whatsoever right now. All I've bought was a couple of memories, a relic, and a couple of weapons. There's a lot more damage that we can get out of this build, and I'll be working on that in the future, but I wanted to put this video out to just showcase what this build can do in such a small budget currency, right? And hopefully this is very interesting for you guys. If anybody has any questions, let me know. We get carried a lot here on the clear for just from the memory dagger, which has built-in explosion when a wilted enemy dies, right? They do mine does nearly 100% of their life as a explosion around them. So once an enemy dies, the explosion chains around them and it just keeps going and going. On top of that, on our passives, we take a node that allows us to have our dots spread to characters around them, right? So this allows it to just chain completely and take over the map, and it's phenomenal. It's very enjoyable to play. I will be showing everybody the passives, the gems that I'm using, and the memories and whatnot. All that important stuff later. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any question, anything you need to know, let me know in the comments below. And keep an eye out, because I'm looking to transition from this budget version into a much more deeper invested version and see how far I can take it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks so much. I'll catch you later. Right, let's go over all the important stuff about this build as of currently. As I've said in the title and previously, this is built with around a 30 FE budget. So to disclose that, let's go over our gear right away. Every piece that I have here, every rare piece, is just things that I've picked up off the ground and I crafted or enchanted them myself. This gear, it's all going to be worked as I progress the build, but as of right now, it's just complete garbage gear that I picked up off the ground, right? Anybody can get things like this, just average pieces of gear. This one is actually decent. As an abyssal base, affliction, double affliction mod with space for erosion and resistance, yeah, that's quite nice. I bought both weapons I have here. I bought this one for 2 FE. We're just looking for the 84% of the skill's damage to base wilt damage, right? And I happen to find one with ailment damage, which is quite nice, and erosion damage as well. I think this was slightly underpriced, but it wouldn't be much more expensive than what I bought it for. Then I bought a memory, which is part of the core items that you need to make this work properly. The wilt explosion carries you a lot while clearing. Yeah, it's very nice. I bought this corroded version with no actual effect other than just getting the corrosion for 20 FE. So it's very cheap these days. Back when I started playing, it was extremely expensive, like many hundreds of FE, but not anymore. At least at base 1, not anymore, right? If you get a good corrosion, obviously it's going to be more expensive. And the remaining of the money that I spent was in this setup. So we're using Tina's wilted flower and 3 legendary hero memories to make so our reload speed is basically instant. And for that we do need 3 Weeping Family silver bullets. I've tried with only 2. I've tried 3 silver bullets without Tina's. It doesn't work. You really need to have all of these for you being able to sustain. Like if I just hold a spacebar, which is my fire ability, you can see that it's clearly generating all 6 of the cartridges before I fire, right? Very, very fast. If I take one out, let's say this, you can see 2 of them don't light up at any point, meaning I'm not benefiting from the full potential of one of our trait nodes. Speaking of traits, let's talk about it. So here and here we can pick them, right? So not much talk there. Up here we have Precise Hit and Dart Shot. I really like Dart Shot. Precise Hit will give you more dummy damage because you can just sit there and attack the dummy and just get the benefit all the time, 100% of the time. But I think in a real fight where you need to dodge stuff and need to jump in and out of combat, I think Dart Shot is very, very good, and it's far more consistent. And on top of that, it also benefits you a lot more while clearing. It takes about half a second off of your mobility skill if using Blink with the setup that I'm using currently. And I just prefer Dart Shot. I have Precise Hit because I was testing it on the dummy, and it does in fact do a lot more damage on the dummy. But I do prefer Dart Shot personally. Here, I couldn't, it's not even a decision, I don't feel like. Evil Ouroboros does so much for us. Permanent Pen, just the ability to do double damage, inflict twice as many wilt debuffs on the enemy is major. I would never pick this as of right now. Not for this build anyway. And then over here, I haven't tested overheating yet because I was trying to make this setup work, and it does work. So this gives us so much damage without much investment. So I think this, as of right now, this is the setup I'm going with, and that's where I spent all the money. Memory, a second weapon, and nothing here has been bought yet. It's all just base gems. And then this for 7 FE, each one of these for 1 FE. Right, so in total about 30 to 35 FE cost for the setup that we have right now. And for reference, we are currently doing around 200k, slightly over sometimes, depending if we get big heaps or not. But that's the setup that we have right now. Right, and in a fight you want to be jumping with your blink every now and then to sustain the buff from the node that we just discussed, that I cannot remember the name, Dart Shot? Yeah, from this, right? Because you get 20% additional damage after using a mobility skill for 2 seconds. So you want to maintain that as much as you can, right? And yeah, that's pretty much your what you're looking at as of right now. Let's go ahead and do just a quick T7 map to showcase how this clears. So as we can see, we're in T.2, 7.2, sorry. And into the map we go, right? And as you can see, the explosion does a lot of work while clearing from a memory. You just jump, keep your stacks up, keep your mobility going. That's giving you a lot of damage. If you get to an extra tough rare, you can pop your reap from a scorching pulse, but otherwise you can just jump between packs, just spam your, oh shit, almost died. Just pop your defensives, pop your curse, and just clear the whole thing. And then just make my way back to the boss. And yeah, this is with very, very moderate candles. There's a lot more that I could do there, hopefully in the future, as well as better auras, better mana management, which I don't have right now. I don't even have capped resistance right now, so there's a lot that I can do to push this build further. So hopefully I'll be doing that soon. Right, and that's your average map experience. For what I'm using on the skills, we have split firebolt. You can level with this from 15. I wouldn't really recommend, I mean you can try if you like it, but I leveled with just frost shot, the one you get at the start, and use that up until 74, which is when you can equip a memory. And after that, fully switch my build to this. For start with rhythm, just because it makes it easier to be automated, right? Magic Dash gives Blink a second use, cooldown reduction, and then more cooldown recovery here. Corruption, Terrain of Malice, Abysmal Curse. I'm using Corruption here at the moment, right? I think the Dot Curse is better, and Tangled Pain. But realistically I want to use both, and the way I do that is either I get a Pedigree of the Gods with the second curse node, or I get a Soul Candle that allows me to have a second curse, but that's future investments. And here I just have Scorching Pulse with cooldown recovery. On the auras I have Deep Pain, Swiftness, Steadfast. Steadfast is level 4, sorry, because I didn't have more life at the time. Eventually level this up. Here we have Corrosion Imbue. This allows us to cap our wilt chance. And finally we have Erosion Enhancement, Energy Fortress, Magical Source, and Elemental Resistance. Obviously I don't want to run this. Eventually I want to drop this and probably put in Precise Proj, right? But if I do that right now, these are my resistances. So need to work through that, fix them, fix my gear first, and try to get some actually useful pieces. And after that, I can probably fit an extra damage aura. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy this. This is a phenomenal build for you guys to just, if you just want to tunnel farm tier 7s, you can throw 30 FE at this and just steamroll to any 7 map that you want. Right, to go over the passives as well, let's go with what we have here. We have Goddess of Deception, Psychic, and Shadowmaster, right? And as you can see, you barely have any Divinity Slates at the moment, so this is incredibly low budget. I'll be working on all of this in the future, don't you worry, but as of right now, this is what we're working with. Goddess of Deception. We have Plague up here. This allows the dots to spread to nearby allies of them, right? This allows things to very quickly spread the wilt between them, and from the explosion of our dagger, propagate the explosions. It's very nice for clear. Here we get Subtle Impact, makes nearby enemies take 25% additional damage. dot damage, which is all damage you do in this case. This is very good for us in particular because of the way Little Carino works, our projectile shotgun, which allows us to apply a bunch of wilts all at the same time, right? But this requires us to be up close for the projectiles to properly shotgun. So we want to stick basically in melee range as much as possible. And that's why we take that note. We would like to have this as well. There's no doubt about it. Hopefully I can get that in Slate, right? A Pedigree of the Gods, but we'll see. And this is the tree that we are rocking at the moment. I'm just finishing putting points here for a nice burst of damage. And I believe after that I'm just putting points into ES nodes. Not sure yet, but yeah. On Psychic, we take Daze, 15% additional element damage. We could also go Affliction. I haven't tested this out. I don't know how much better this is. Something that I need to check. Because 75% effect of Affliction is a lot, but I'll see how it goes. And finally, more with less. It's a ton. It's so much, right? And I shouldn't need verbal abuse, because I should be able to get an extra curse from other sources. And this is the tree that we are using right now. I would also like to take these points as well. Down here, lots of damage to be gotten here, especially if you can get a double curse going with all this curse effect. Finally, Shadow Master, we take Dirt, just as a nice amount of additional damage. You can also take Stealth Stab for a defensive node, and a conditional buff, but this is probably not super, doesn't have a super high uptime, right? But this is a nice defensive. If you feel like you're dying a lot, you can very easily drop this for Stealth Stab. And finally, here I would say we have two options. You either take Beyond Cure or you take Life Conversion. This allows me to get a lot more mileage out of my mana. And in my experience, we're being able to inject a lot more than 50 wilt. So I opted to not go with this and go with Life Conversion instead. Although this is still an option that you have. And this is the tree as of right now. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys later.